everybody, what's going on? Oh, wait a minute, wrong channel. Hi there, and welcome to Penn Central 99's channel. It's June 2015, so I thought I would put together a little bit of an update as to what's been going on with the River Mountain Model Railroad. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're going to get started here in a transition from Sidewinder Junction to Dusty Flats, and as you can see, I've started to work with some scenery and some ballast. I've had this old ballast laying around for a few years now. I think this was originally made by Lifelike, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to differentiate, or make some eye-catching scenery changes because the way they do things on the one-to-one. So I got this old blended ballast here that I had found and put it in this interchange area here just to see what it would look like with the transition to the other ballast that I had put down. You can see this area over here, I had applied a black wash. It looks pretty decent. This does not have a wash on it, nor does this blended area here have a wash on it. But I think that looks pretty good, and I think I'm going to continue on with the blended material here for Sidewinder Junction for my ballast, and I really like that. Over here on the fence, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I started to put my razor wire on the top of the fence here, and like the last video, that's nothing more than springs from ballpoint pens made to look like razor wire. Some of the other things that I did here, you see this electrical switch box, or simulated electrical switch box. Actually what that is, if I turn it around there, you can see the openings on the front. That is nothing more than a USB port box out of a PC motherboard from a computer. The motherboard on our computer was done, so we had to replace the motherboard in our computer. So what I started doing is salvaging some parts off, and that is nothing more than a box off of the PC motherboard out of a computer. I just spray painted it gray to make it look like an electrical switch control box, as you see along the railroad. Okay, continuing on in the process, we're going to start with some acquisitions or purchases for the layout. And as you can see, I've got a BNSF locomotive pulling into the picture here. This is an Atlas-840BW. I needed something to team up with my old Santa Fe GP40, and one of the reasons for that is pulling more than 9 cars up the helix was a little bit of a struggle for this one locomotive. And the other reason why I was looking for a 840BW is because of the axles. Okay, instead of 6 axles, I wanted 4 axles, because the inside curve here of the layout, even though it's 22 inches, the 6-axle locomotives will run it. They just don't like it. And they'll whine and cry about it, but that's the way it is. So I figured to make things a little bit easier, I would get a 4-axle locomotive to team up with my GP40 to pull some rolling stock around. I was pretty pleased with finding this on eBay. This is my first Atlas motive power purchase, although I have other Atlas things, and I'm pretty satisfied with this. This is going to be a little bit of a project locomotive because there are some upgrades and some small broken items on it that need to be fixed, but it's really no big deal. Now this is DCC already, but it's not sound. This one is sound, so I don't really need to upgrade the decoder in here to sound, because this one has sound, and they work very well together. They're already speed matched and run great together. Okay, the next items here that we're going to take a look at is some rolling stock that I've weathered. The first item up here is a 55-foot Penn Central covered hopper. Basically what I did here, I started out by taping off or covering the reporting marks, because as you can see there, after I airbrushed a fade color on there, the reporting marks and the paint behind there stands out a little bit more than normal. So I taped that off, and I sprayed a a fade on there to give it a little bit of weather beaten, sitting out in the sun for a long time kind of covered hopper. You can see here these were all green to match the body, but I painted the hatches on the top of the car, plus I painted the walkway here gray. So I got white hatches and a gray walkway. And here is a picture of the prototype that I tried to model this after. So getting back to the weathering project here, I tried to simulate some rust marks on the side here that almost look like patch outs, but it doesn't look too bad. And you can see I airbrushed a grime or a black along the bottom here to give it more of that weathered look. For the most part, I don't think that turned out too bad. The trick to this is since this was an AccuRail, unlike an Athearn, these walkways are permanently attached to the car, so I had to tape off the walkway before I could spray paint, or I'm not spray paint, sorry, my bad. I could airbrush those gray to get it to stand out against the green body, but I don't think that turned out too bad. Okay, next up is a 40-foot boxcar that I had weathered. If I'm not mistaken, this was made by Bowser, but it was a pretty simple deal here. I shot it with a fade, but not the same fade that I used on this boxcar. This was a darker, different green fade that I had used. And after I faded it, I put some black wash on there to kind of give it a dirty look. And you can also see here on the roof where I weathered some rust patches on there straight down the middle from the peak of the roof, because I have seen some roofs of some boxcars that are weathered just like this. You see I got a little bit of a rust patch here, but I don't think these turned out too bad. And before I forget and move on, all of the rolling stock that you're about to see as far as the weathering, I've got the trucks and wheels weathered just like I always do. I spray paint them with chestnut brown and a rusty metal primer, and then I put some black weathering chalk on there to make them look good. So all of my trucks and wheels are weathered the same because I'm pretty happy with the way they turn out. But you can see the different color variations in the weathering here. Now the next boxcar, this is an Athearn 40-foot boxcar. What I did here is I faded the whole car, painted the door different color. This is actually like a faded red color that I had painted that. Faded the boxcar, painted the door a different color. I did not use a wash on this because I wanted to see how it would turn out, but I did put a brown wash on the roof of the car and sealed it with dull coat just like I do everything else. And I think this next car here is another Athearn 40-foot boxcar. And what I did is I actually took the roof walk off of this car and airbrushed a fade on there separately than the car because I wanted a little bit of like a three-tone color variation here. So the roof walk was removed and faded with an airbrush, and then I used some black weathering chalk on there to make that stand out a little bit. I faded the sides and the roof, but what I did is when I got done fading the sides and the roof, I put 2 additional coats with an airbrush on the roof because that's the one that's probably closest to the sun and the sides are all the time, or is in the sun more than the sides. So I wanted that to look a little bit more faded than the sides. So I got a fade on all 4 sides and 2 additional coats on the roof to make it stand out a little bit more. Then after I got done with that, I took some gray weathering chalk and applied it to the ribs so that made them stand out a little bit more, along with the rivet lines on the sides and the grooves in the door to make it give a little bit of depth and variation. So that turned out pretty good. The next items up are some purchases that I made. I'm going to try and get both of these in the camera view at the same time. I've been looking for some blue tank cars, to add to my consist, and I finally found these on eBay. So I bought both of these blue tank cars to go with my tanker fleet, and I just wanted blue to be different. And these road names currently are CELX, both of them, and these were made by Athearn. So I purchased these off of eBay to add to my rolling stock, and I'm pretty satisfied with those. I'm happy with them. It was what I was looking for, and it just took the time to find them. Well, that's pretty much it for this update. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you had a good time. I know it really hasn't been a whole lot, but at least we're doing something with the layout. I'm just kind of at a little bit of a standstill, or slow down, maybe not a standstill, especially since summer's rolling around and there's other outdoor activities that we'd all like to get done. So once again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Well, that's pretty much it. Well, that's pretty much it for this update. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you had a good time. It's not a standstill, but a little bit of a slowdown, especially since summer's rolling around and there's outdoor activities that we all like to get to. So as always, thanks for watching, and I really appreciate all of my subscribers and viewers for helping keeping things moving along. See you next month.